Okay guys, welcome to this video looking at a PowerPoint for percentage of an amount, okay, and it's from the White Rose Math Scheme of Learning or Scheme of Work, okay. Now a little disclaimer guys, this is actually obviously fully copyrighted actually, so I've got this off the White Rose Maths website, so they are the owner of this, okay. I take no credit, okay, in this PowerPoint presentation, okay, this is fully copyrighted actually, and this is obviously from them, okay. I'm just going to be going through the PowerPoint, okay, and answering the questions as we go along. Okay, so get ready. Okay, so first section. Okay, so this is the first set of questions, guys. Feel free to obviously pause the video, have a go at these questions, and then come back and press play. But if this is totally new to you, then grab a piece of paper, pen, pencil, and a notepad or your iPad. Take some notes, okay, for today's lesson, and put the title of percentages of amounts. Okay. Complete the calculations. 50% of 620. Now, 50% in maths here just means half of something. So 620 divided by 2. So I'm essentially halving 620. Think of it as 100% is 620. 50% will be half of that, which will be 310. Okay. The next part, 25% of that, well, that's half of 50%. So I take 310 and I divide that by 2. Okay, so half of this is going to give me 155, okay, because a half of 31 is 15.5, so a half of 310 will be 10 times bigger than 15.5, so it'll be 155. Next part, 10% of 620, well, 10% means dividing it by 10, so 620, dividing it by 10, and I get the answer of 62. Okay, I'm splitting it into 10 equal parts. Okay, 10% of something means dividing it by 10, so the answer I get is 62. Okay. For part B, 50% of 1,800, well, I divide it by 2, so I get the answer of 900, okay? Half of 1,800, okay, is 900, okay? Or half of 1,800 is 1,000, sorry, half of 1,800 is equal to 900. 10% of this number, we'll divide it by 10, so take off 1 0, and I get 180. Now, 1% of an amount means I divide it by 100, okay? So I take off 2 zeros, okay? The answer is 18, okay? So 10% of any amount, you divide it by 10, okay? 50% of any amount, you divide it by 2, 25% of any amount, you divide it by 4, 1% of any amount, you divide it by 100, okay? Because 1% is 1 over 100, okay? So you would divide by 100 and then times by 1, okay? Next part, find 1% of 100, where you divide it by 100, okay? 100 divided by 100 is equal to 1. This one, find 1% of 110, okay? Divide it by 100, I get 1.1, okay? 110 divided by 100 is equal to that, okay? Right, guys, the next part, okay, so this is now the answers here. So these are the answers for these, okay? So hopefully that is all correct, okay, and hopefully that all makes sense, okay? Next part, so let's learn, okay? So to work out 10% of 120, I divide it into 10 equal parts. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I do 120 divided by 10. Now, dividing anything by 10 just means I move the decimal point one place to the left, or in this case, I take off 1 0, okay, and I get the answer of 12, okay? 12 divided by 1 is equal to 12, okay? There we go. Okay, what's the next part say? Okay, so each one of these is going to equal to 12, okay? For that. If I know this, how could I calculate these? Okay, so if I know that each part is 12, I can calculate, okay, any amount, okay? Because if 10% is equal to 12, okay, then I can work out what 5% is. I can work out what 15% is. I can work out what 25% is, okay? Because this has been split up into tens, okay? This all adds up to 120, okay? So let's have a look. Okay, so 20% of 120. So again, 10% is equal to 12. 20% is just 12 plus 12, which is going to be 24. Okay. 60% of 120. Well, again, it's 12 times 6, okay, because that equals 60%. And 12 times 6, guys, is 72, okay, for that. The next part, 90% of 120, well, again, counting the number of boxes that have 12s in, okay, 9 times. 12 times 9, okay, is 108, okay, for that. Okay, so this is what I call using like the bar model method, okay, or the bar method to help you work this out, okay. Next part says have a think, okay, so that's that part there, okay. So here are the answers, okay, 24, okay, let's just delete that here so you can see where the answers are. There we go. The next part, times it by 6, I get 72. Okay, delete that there so you can see it. And let's just delete that, okay, 108 there. And we get 108, there we go, okay. So it did 120 take away 12, which is what I did in my head. Okay, because 9 bits, okay, 9 times 12 is the same as doing 120 take away 12. Okay, because 1/12 is that, so 9/10 will equal to 108, okay. So these are our answers, okay. So, how many different ways could you calculate 80%? Well, one way to do it is I could count the number of 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 10% would equal to 12. Okay, which it says there. So 10% is equal to 12. 80% you would do 12 times 8. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Okay, 12 times 8 is 96. Okay, and again, if you're not too confident with your timesing, then a little thing to the side is also fine. 12 times 8, well, 2 times 8 is 16, carry the 1. Okay, and 8 times 1 is 1, plus the 1 is equal to 9. Okay, for that. Another way that I could do, well, if 20% equals 24, 80% is same as doing 20% times 4, yeah? Because 20% times 4 is 80%. So I can also do 24 times 4, and that will also give me 80%. 4 4s are 16, so 6 carry the 1, 4 2s are 8, plus the 1, and I get 9. So that's like another way. Okay, now I can do it like a third rate share, which is slightly more complicated share, so it's slightly more complicated. 80% here of an amount is the same as doing 0.8 multiplied by 120. Okay, so this is what I call the decimal multiplier method. Okay, so what I've done essentially is I've changed 80% into a decimal, okay, by dividing it by 100, okay, that will give me the answer of 96, okay, because it's the same as doing 8 times 12 here, essentially, okay, so it's the same as doing that, okay, but this is using the decimal multiplier method, okay, it's changed this into a decimal, okay, like that. Okay, so this is slightly more advanced actually, and it's a bit more for GCSE actually, type maths actually as well. Okay, of course I could do 80%, so write that as a fraction. So do 80 out of 100 of 120, so I can change it into a fraction of an amount. Okay, do 120 divided by 100 and then times it by 80, which gives me the same answer. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, that's 4 methods there. So I thought of 4 methods. There may be some more methods, but these are the ones that spring to mind each year when I think of like 80%, okay, of a number. So again, pause, okay, have a think. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we did 10% times 8. 12 times 8 is that. 10% times 4. Okay, 24 times that, which is what I've got there. Okay, 50% plus 30%. Okay, so that's like another way. Okay, 100% minus 20%. Okay, so another way there, guys. Okay, for that. How could we calculate 15% of 80? Well, here, I can work out what 10% is and what 5% is. Okay, so there's our 10 boxes. Okay, 10% is equal to this green part here. Sorry, I'll put it in the same colour. That's equal to 10%. Okay, 10% of 80, we should know that's equal to 8. So each of these boxes or bars, you could say, represents 8. And then 5%, well, that's half of 10%. So if I split this into half, okay, half of 8, I get 4. So 5% is equal to 4. Okay, I've got 8 plus 4. Okay, so 8 is equal to 10%. 8 plus 4, 4 is equal to 5% of 80. Okay, so that's equal to 4 there. That's equal to 8. 8 plus 4 is equal to 12, guys. Okay. There you go. So 8's all there. And then it's worked out here. Okay, so it's chopped that into 4. Okay, for that. Okay. 10% and 5%. There we go. Okay. So find 75% of 400 actually. I found 10% and then multiplied by 7 to work out 70% and then 5% and added them together. Okay, so that will also work. I found 25% actually and then multiplied by 3. Well, again, that will also work as well actually, yeah. So let's look at this first method here. So 10% of 400. Well, 10% will be equal to 40. You times that by 7 to work out what 70% is. So 70% will equal to 7 lots of 40, which is 280. Okay. And then we're going to have 5%, which is equal to half of 40%. Half of 40%, guys, is equal to 20. Okay. Adding your answers together, so 70% plus 5% gives me 75%. 280 plus 20, I get 300. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Another way here is he found 25% and then times it by 3. Now, that's the same as, so dividing it by 4, okay, because 20% actually of an amount, you divide it by 4. So 400 divided by 4 is equal to 100. And then I multiply it by 3. And I get the answer of 300, okay, for that. Okay, for that. So again, have a think, okay, pause and have a go. Okay. So let's have a look here. So this is their method. Each bar is equal to 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40. Added together, I get 280 plus the 20 because it's 5%. Okay, which is 300. Okay, this person. So again, okay, 25%, guys. Remember, I split it into quarters. Okay, remember that's equal to a quarter as a fraction. There we go, 3/4. We have that. Okay. Right, guys, so this next part, yeah, I'm just actually here. So you'll have some worksheets here to have a go actually on like the White Rose Maths website, okay, for that. Okay, this next part, okay, so find 45%, guys, of 500. Well, I'm going to work out what 10% is. So 10% of 500 means I divide it by 10. So 500 divided by 10, and I get 50, guys. Okay, 40%, well, that's just 4 lots of 50, so 50 times 4, which is going to be 200. And then 5% is half of 10%, so half of 50 is 25. Okay, adding these two last numbers together, because that gives me 45%, I get the answer of 225. Okay, so 45% gives me the answer of 225, guys. So how many methods can you think of? Well, I can think of, I want to say 3 methods, okay, for that, okay, but let me know, guys, if you think of any more methods, okay. So one way I can multiply it by 0.45 as a decimal multiplier. Another way is to write it as 45 over 100, so change it into a fraction of an amount, okay, and then divide by 100 and then times by 45, okay. So a fraction of an amount. Okay, I can do it as a decimal multiplier, so 0.45 times 500. Okay, this method is slightly more complicated, guys, so don't panic if you're not sure what I mean by the decimal multiplier. Okay, we'll cover this hopefully in like another video. Okay, but essentially it's changing it to a decimal and then just timesing decimal by that number. Okay, and here it's changing it to a fraction of an amount. Okay, changing it to a fraction times the number. Okay, and this one here, okay, I could do many other methods, guys, for percentage of amount. Okay, there we go. They found 1%, okay, times it by 5, and then they got their answer. They found 50%, 5%, and then took one away from each other. Okay, right, guys, so complete the calculations, guys. 6% of 80, okay, and 8% of 60. Okay, so 10% of 80 is equal to 8, okay, and then do 8 times 6 to work out 60%, which is equal to 48. Now, there's a reason that these two questions have been put together here. It's a little trick, guys. Okay, if you have the same numbers, but you swap them around, yeah? So what I mean is, if you swap this here, and then you swap this number here, you'll actually get you the same answer. But let's just double check, guys, okay? 10% of 60 is equal to 6, okay? 6 times 8 is the same as doing 8 times 6, so I get the answer of 48. Okay, so doing 60% of 80 is the same as doing 80% of 60. Okay, so it's a little trick there, guys. Okay, what do you notice? The answers are the same. Okay, again, it's done this. Okay, so it's giving you the answer there, and then there's your answer there, guys. Okay. Right, guys, so that's the end of today's video, guys. Okay, so this last part says, yeah, it's your turn. Have a go at the worksheet, okay, on the White Rose Maths. Okay, so hopefully you found this lesson or this video useful. Okay, if you did, please press like, please subscribe to the channel, okay, and please comment below, okay, what you thought about the video. Okay, so give me some advice, okay, on how to improve, guys, and let me know what you think actually of these types of PowerPoints, okay, from the White Rose Maths. Okay, like I said at the start, okay, I don't take credit actually for any of this work here. So this was actually done actually by the White Rose Maths. Okay, I was just merely going through it as like a typical like maths teacher or maths tutor, okay, for a percentage of amounts. Okay, hopefully you found it useful. If you did, okay, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all inside the next video. Okay, bye for now.